So in this video, we're going to teach you the advantages and give you our top 5 tips on how to get fat and why you should. You're starting early. Tip number 5. Okay, so tip number 5 for getting fat, believe it or not.
Not that we've ever done that.
Well, exactly, is to not exercise.
This is it. We often find sitting on a couch for 24 hours a day often helps, because if you think about it, if you even move your arms or breathe, you're burning precious calories, which will be destroying your, obese figure.
Then your couch into like a catheter type thing, and you wouldn't even have to get up to go to the toilet.
Tip
number 4.
Tip number 4, as you can see just before the titles, I was eating a delicious large plate of turkey dinosaurs. And I find that if you eat a plate of these before every meal, it will help you stuff in some extra calories, because it is 1,000 calories per bag, and we all know that 2,500 calories is a pound in weight. So the more you stuff in before your meal, on top of your meal, you're going to be cramming in the extra calories, which will then turn into extra fat.
Tip
number
3. So tip number 3 is to think of the advantages to being fat. And there are quite a few advantages that you might be able to think of that you wouldn't necessarily think of in the first place. I mean, one of them is the fact that when you go on holiday, you're going to get a better tan because there is more of you to be tanned. So it'll give you a nice even coat. Whereas if you're skinny, you're going to get the sun lounger more tanned than you are. And you don't want that, do you? So the best thing to do is to think of the advantages of being fat. Tip number 2.
So tip number 2 is always have a goal. And when I say a goal, I mean you could do this in many ways. You could write it down, you could send it yourself in an email, or what you could do is put a poster up on your wall of somebody that you aspire to look like. For example, me and Bev often find that Mandy Dingle is an absolute inspiration.
She really is.
She's morbidly obese and she's now in a wheelchair permanently. But having her on the wall is a real inspiration. When you try to cram in that last bit of lard and you just feel like you can't do it, you just look over to Mandy Dingle and you're like, I'll do it for you, love.
Do you know what? The funny thing is though? It's actually a naked picture of Mandy Dingle, and this that you can see behind, this is her left breast. You can't really see where it begins or ends because it's just that big, and that is down to lard.
Fabulous. Tip
number
1.
And I suppose the final part to tip number 1 is get it in the fryer.
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 No, get it in the fryer.
No, you get it in the fryer.
Get it in the
fucking fryer.
He's got your fryer.
He's got your fryer. He's got your fryer.
He's got your fryer.
Your fucking fryer. And he's put your baby in the fryer. Ah!